Did you know that right from the very first episode of Peppa Pig, there were already clues that George had hearing problems? If you watch the old opening of the Pink Piglets cartoon, you'll notice that after all the Pig family members introduce themselves, Daddy Pig is the last one, and he lets out an absurdly loud pig snort that even leaves Mommy Pig startled and Peppa with her eyes squeezed shut until the end of his super oink. Can you spot that at this exact same moment, George not only opens his eyes before the two of them, but also doesn't seem bothered by Daddy Pig's noise in the slightest, indicating that the little pig has always had hearing loss. Another clue for this is the fact that George, due to his hearing problem, has always had serious trouble saying anything other than the word dinosaur, which is his absolute favorite thing. Unlike Edmund Elephant, who is the exact same age as the little pig, but knows how to speak perfectly. The truth is that everyone was super surprised, and even moved when he said the name Peppa for the very first time, even though he was already 4 years old. So the clues were always there, we were just the ones who didn't notice them before. Evie trivia. Evie is the newest member of the pig family, and that's a fact. However, a lot of things about the little baby girl need to be mentioned, since some of them are subliminal and have never even been brought up by the other characters in the show. One of them is the fact that the design of the youngest pig family member is slightly different from Peppa's. But what do you mean by that? You might be asking yourself. Let's get into it. Besides the yellow bow on her head, we can see that when comparing the baby version of Peppa with the baby version of Evie, the younger sister is a tiny bit chubbier, which you can tell by her rounder shape. On top of that, one of Evie's cheeks is heart-shaped, which is super cute, but it's a completely unique trait to her in the family. And the reason for that? Since none of her parents, siblings, aunts, uncles, or grandparents have it, it was probably just added to make her stand out from the rest. Another cool fact about the little girl is the origin of her name. Surprisingly enough, it was only chosen after the baby was born. After leaving the hospital and going home while flipping through an old family album, Peppa discovers the existence of a great-aunt of Mommy Pig who was named Evie through a black and white photo. So she, not the parents, suggested naming her little sister Evie. In other words, even though they had months to do it, Evie and Peppa's parents apparently didn't bother to come up with a name for the newest member of the family. That is definitely pretty weird, don't you agree? Parents' names. Speaking of names, another very intriguing fact about Peppa's world is that only the kids have actual defined names, but the adults practically don't, just being called by their species with a Mr., Mrs., or Madame added to it. There are only 5 exceptions in the entire show: Madame Gazelle, her 2 sisters, Grandpa Rabbit, and Auntie Dottie, who, as you might guess, is actually named Dottie. By the way, let us know down in the comments if you know the names of these other 4 characters, so we can see if you get it right. That actually just gave me an idea to make a video about all the adults with names in the series. But the fact is, we have no idea what the names of Peppa, Susie, Rebecca, or Emily's parents are. Nobody's. The question that puzzles everyone is, why? This is a mystery that maybe one day will be revealed, but for now, the reason is completely unknown. Susie's sheep's dad. And if some characters have their names revealed, others haven't even had their identities shown so far. Even after more than 20 years since the release of the Peppa Pig cartoon, that's exactly the case with Susie's dad. Yes, because he exists. Contrary to what a lot of folks say about this being a way to show family diversity in the cartoon world, I'm sorry to break it to you, but any living mammal must absolutely have a father and a mother, unless they're a clone. And if Susie isn't a clone of her mom, we can say that her dad is the most mysterious character in all of Peppa Pig lore. Some people believe he'll be revealed soon, and they actually think he lives in the United States. This idea came up in the episode Susie Goes Away, which shows that the little sheep's mom is supposedly moving thanks to a job she landed in a faraway country. And a lot of people believe she would be going to the United States to be closer to her husband, who is already working over there. But none of this is confirmed, and it's nothing more than a theory. The fact is that a lot of people wonder who Susie's dad is, and if he's even still alive. One day, we hope to uncover all of this. The first Peppa. Now let's talk about something really important that very few people who watched Peppa Pig have a clue about. Did you know there was another Peppa before the Peppa we all know? And no, we're not talking about the internet theory of a first sister or an evil twin. That's actually a topic for another video we'll be making soon. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss it. But we are actually talking about the original book and character that the pink piglet we know was based on. Actually, it wasn't originally a cartoon, but rather a book series called Olivia the Pig. And yes, any similarity in the name is not just a mere coincidence. The Pig's book was released in the year 2000, 4 years before Peppa was created. And the similarities are wild. First off, the main characters, besides being cute pigs, wear red dresses and are older sisters. On top of that, both of them have younger brothers who wear blue, Ian in Olivia's case, and George in Peppa's case. Besides that, there are a bunch of other similar things, but we'd need a whole video just for that. If you want to see a video comparing the two shows, because Olivia also got an animated series, comment down below #IWantIt. Doctors and vets. You've got to agree that Peppa's world is dominated by animals and that only a few humans live in it, like Santa Claus, the Queen, and the pirate, right? But if everyone is an animal, here's a genuinely intriguing question. At the end of the day, what is the exact difference between doctors and vets in the world of Peppa Pig? Because technically, all the doctors, like Dr. Brown Bear and Dr. Polar Bear, would practically be veterinarians since they solely treat other animals. Actually, I just realized that all the doctors are bears. Could that be a prerequisite in this world to get a medical degree? Anyway, we know that despite being animals, the Peppa Pig characters also have pets, like Madame Gazelle, who has her guinea pigs, and Grandpa Pig, who has his parrot, among many others. And we also know that Dr. Hamster, who is the town's vet, takes care of all of them. But honestly, if we stop to think about it, she could also be a doctor, just like the doctors could be vets in Peppa's world. The good news is that there would never be a shortage of jobs for any of them, and there wouldn't be a lack of medical care for any character who needed it either. Now that's what I call an excellent public healthcare plan, wouldn't you agree? If you're enjoying the video, subscribe to the channel now so you don't miss any new videos. Paternal grandparents. Now let's move on to what I consider to be the biggest mystery in the Peppa cartoon, even bigger than the identity of Susie's dad. Have you ever asked yourself, where in the world are Peppa's paternal grandparents? If you've asked yourself this question, trust me, you're not the only one. We know that Peppa has her maternal grandparents, who are Mommy Pig's parents, but her other grandparents have never even been mentioned, creating a constant air of mystery. And if we stop to analyze it, this isn't exclusive to the little pig in the red dress, because the truth is, most of the characters in the show don't have grandparents, and the ones who do never have all four, maternal and paternal, just like Peppa. Did they already go to piggy heaven? Or are they super rich and just travel around all the time? That's something we still don't know either, but we'll always be keeping an eye out to find out. Favorite pets. As we mentioned in the topic about doctors and vets in Peppa's world, we know the characters in the show own pets. But it's kind of up in the air what the criteria are to know if an animal in the series is irrational, like the pets, or rational, like the characters who act like humans. The fact is, we noticed that most of the kids in the series have favorite animals. Had you ever noticed that? For example, we know that Evie, who is the youngest in the family, absolutely loves ducks, which is a preference she picked up the second she was born. And she kind of inherited this habit from her older siblings, since Peppa has Teddy, who is a stuffed bear, another animal, and George has his famous and scary dinosaur, which technically is also a toy based on an animal, even if it's an extinct one. Even Susie has a favorite animal toy, Mr. Penguin, not to mention her second favorite toy, which is a stuffed owl. So, am I the only one who thinks it's weird that animals have stuffed animals? I don't think so. Pirate. Like we mentioned, in Peppa's world there are very few humans, and one of them is the pirate. There are two really interesting details about this character that few people stop to think about. The first one is that he is super famous in Peppa's world, with his pictures showing up on book covers and decorations, like in the festival episode. But at the very same time, he is a notorious outlaw who hoards stolen treasure and does whatever it takes to not get caught, as is also shown in some episodes, like the one where George loses his dinosaur. In that one, we can notice that the pirate even goes to the police station, but right when he puts his hand on the doorknob, he changes his mind because he knows that if he goes inside, he'll probably get arrested, which makes it crystal clear that he is a fugitive from the law. So how can a guy like that be a role model for festivals, birthday parties, and even children's games? I for sure wouldn't want my kids playing pretend outlaws, would you? Incompetent police officers. Taking advantage of the fact that we're talking about the pirate, we couldn't leave out Officer Panda and Officer Squirrel. That's because they are probably the most incompetent police officers in the entire cartoon world, which becomes crystal clear exactly in the episode where they run into the outlaw pirate and he easily fools them as if they were little kids. We know Peppa is a children's cartoon, but even for that audience, these cops are way too naive, or better yet, really bad at their jobs. And that's never a good thing. We'll stop here, but you can still keep watching more incredible videos. Just click on either of these two appearing for you. Until next time.